Hey Wabinab, this is Leo again. I'm going to have a look at your newest game where you played against any77 who's 20Q. First of all, I have to say you played quite well actually. From my point of view, you should have won this game. Um, yeah, but I show you where you made some mistakes which finally cost you this game. Okay, let's start. Wabinab is playing black. Oh, yeah. This is very normal, fine. You played this extension for your lower left side corner. Your opponent attached, which normally means that you have to continue locally, which you did, playing this honey on the second line, which is nice. Okay, fine. This is pretty slow from your opponent. He doesn't have to play here, right? So there's no chance if he plays elsewhere to cut or something. So white can just connect here, and there's actually no real damage. So black can make some points, but yeah, this stone here is way, oops, this is way bigger than these few points here at the bottom. Okay, so as said, this was a bit slow. This move doesn't really do a lot, so it's an endgame move, and it might give you it might give you an extra point here, but actually it's really small, right? So if you continue here, this is a big move. Your opponent can play here, forcing you to add another stone here, but this is not a big difference, right? So compared to this is 2 more points for black, but this is definitely too small that early in the game. So you should have just continued somewhere else. Your opponent plays here, that's very kind. And this is a big one for your opponent. You defend your territory, which is okay. This is risky, actually, because white can cut here, and we don't like to be cut in such a way. So your AMP group is AMP stones are totally cut. There's no way to connect them if you play here. Oh, sorry. Your opponent can cut either here or here, and like this stone is almost dead, and there's still this cut here. So we absolutely do not like to play a shape like this, but prefer either this. This makes it harder for your opponent to cut, so there still is a cut at A, but that is hard for white to play there because black is quite strong, and yeah, white's stones will have a hard time living here. Or if you want to play super safe, you could also just go here, but this again might be a little slow. But as said, this is risky. But that's not the game. Your opponent played here, making this bad shape. I already mentioned that the empty triangle. Some time ago we tried to prevent that. So this is a bad move from your opponent, and actually it allows you to just connect here, which is great again. Yeah, now your stones are fully connected. Your opponent did not get a lot here. That would be great. Let's see how you continued. Oh, you played this. That's a bit greedy, right? He can still cut here, and if you try to somehow connect, yeah, there are really issues. So, for example, white could just take this one stone. This looks very possible. Or do other things like, yeah, maybe play here. This still means that you have to somehow fix this. Then he can connect. And you still have this cut at A. But actually I really like this variation, which I already showed. So this is too much from my perspective, and okay, your opponent played in a very defensive way. Okay, you extend it. Ooh, what's that? I just wanted to say this is very nice because if you just keep extending, now you split your opponent's A and B stones. This is very nice for you. So as you keep these stones separated, they are both kind of weak. So if white decides, for example, to defend here and defend the corner, then black can go down here. If white really wants to defend the corner with something like that, now this white A group is under attack, right? So if black plays here, it's just that. So even if white plays here to make one eye, black can just go here, prevent a second eye, and these stones are almost just dead. So there's still this one, but in general, locally, they're just dead. So this is not a good idea. And if white plays here to make sure that these stones can live easily, then black can go here and destroy the whole the whole white corner, which is also a very good result. So in general, if you see your opponent making this shape with this stone he just played and this one, then the position right in the middle, this is the so-called elephant's eye, so this empty space here between these two stones, diagonal stones, this is in general a very good spot to look into. Alright, but you played here, which is strange, because white can actually just cut this stone off and it doesn't have any effect. Basically it's like passing, but even 1 point worse, because this stone is just captured. But he played here, and this way you can threaten to either connect here to this stone or cut here. So your opponent decided to prevent you from connecting, and hence you cut, which is very nice. I wonder whether this cut works. So oftentimes this is very nice because it threatens to continue here. The thing is that your black group here has only 3 liberties, right? Which is not a lot. So this cut might not work actually. For example, if your opponent plays here, this is Sente. If you continue here, or it's almost Sente to say it like that, because now you have to come back, right? If you continue here, then white can just take these 4 stones. You see this is Atari. There is no way out. And if you defend here like this, then yeah, I think your opponent can just defend, for example, like this. So without reading this to the end, here's another cut. I'm not sure if this really works. So what you played is, yeah, it's one way to continue. Okay, and your opponent took the save move, and you go out here, which is nice because we don't really feel good about this group, right? Because it still has only these 1, 2, 3 liberties. So if your opponent gets the chance to play here, this is a severe attack, and white at the same time could make some territory here, so we don't want him to play there. Hence, I really like this move. Alright, this is not necessary at all. This is like passing. This is slow. So if there's no need to play such a one space move like this, feels a bit like crawling. Almost always jumping is better. So you could either jump here. This is still slow, but it's definitely better than playing here at A. Or you could even think about jumping here or here to reduce your opponent's space. So this one, this knight's move from A to this position, it always leaves a cut. So white can always cut here, like this. So you first have to think whether this cut is an issue or not. In this case it's not, because this ladder works for black. But you have to check that first. Otherwise this is a secure way to just be a little bit faster than just going to A. But this is not the game. This is the game. Your opponent, oh, he did not block, but decided to go here. Okay, you blocked. Yes, you want to keep your corner. All right, this is not necessary. White is alive anyway. In fact, White does not even have to think about whether he can make two eyes up here or not, because he's just connected here and there's so much eye space here. So really no need for him to defend. And you just continue here. That's nice. And now he blocks the corner and you jump. This is nice. So you really found a way to erase all this space, and now the game looks really good for black. So this area looks almost like black territory, and white only has few points at the top, few points in the upper right corner, few points in the lower right corner. So this game looks very good for black. And actually this is also what you described, or how you described the game. And I do agree that you really did well up to this point. So let's see how this continues. White plays here, very slow. Here, this is also slow, because this stone is very safe. He's very well connected to this strong group. So you can again jump like this, or maybe like this. Maybe even like this. This is annoying for your opponent because there's no easy way to cut these two stones. The one you played feels a bit slow. Anyway, this aims at reducing your opponent's territory, right? But there's actually no need to do that. You are way ahead with all this territory, so actually you can just play a very safe move, so something like this, to just make sure that there really is nothing here for your opponent. You're very strong and just easily win the game. But you continued here and your opponent blocked, and then you played a move like this to reinforce your position, which I very much do like. Okay, and now I guess, again, referring to your description, this is the inside attack that you mentioned from your opponent. Yeah, this move is great. It's a good way to defend. So actually it says, I don't want to let you in here, you have to make life here, which will be really hard because you already are quite strong here. Yes, this is again very nice. So if your opponent invades into your territory, then typically he is very weak and you're quite strong, so he will have a hard time making life. The best chance for your opponent to make life is to get some free moves, right? So if you, for example, play here to make sure that your opponent doesn't get another eye here, down here, then he can do stuff like this, or this, which later provides him with the chance to play some forcing moves like Atari like this, and then play here, and threatening to capture this stone, and then he starts building something that looks like it might at some point live. Hence, defending in a very strong way, in a very secure way, like this, not giving your opponent any forcing moves down there is a very good idea. So I really like that move. He continues here, okay. And that's also very nice. You just say, okay, you reduce your opponent's space to make two eyes. You will actually have a very hard time. So, and now I think I just want to connect here. Is it possible for white to live? Hardly. Hardly. Well, this is Sente. You have to connect here. He can play here, force you to go here, something like this. And then the question is, does white have enough space here to make another eye? So you can go here. So if you play it the easy way, actually white will be able to live. Still, I don't think that will be enough for white, right? Score estimator unfortunately doesn't work for 13 times 13. But yeah, still this plus this and these 5 points here, or 6, look way smaller than this black's area. So I think even if your opponent finds this way to live, and I'm not saying that I played in an optimal way for black, maybe it is also possible to just kill, but even if he lives, I think the game still looks quite good for you. But you played here, which is actually very risky. Your opponent can play here to take this stone, and now white is just alive and you still have to defend here. So this result is definitely worse than the one that I just showed. But your opponent did not see that plate here, which is just a mistake, and you got this move. So lucky you. Let's see how this continues. Yeah, okay. So I stopped because I thought it is not necessary to play here. You can also try to kill your opponent with a move like this, or maybe also playing from the outside. Because if he takes this one and you defend here, this A is not an I, as you can easily see. So he will still have to make two I's down here, which is not that easy. Yeah, but it's also fine to just connect. Interesting. Yes, your opponent is alive. Okay, that's fine. Was there a way to kill, to actually kill? So if you play here, you can play here, and this is almost an I, because actually A and B are mi, right? So you cannot prevent your opponent from playing one of these moves and making this into a real I. So this is not enough. What about this one? Your opponent can go here, make one I here, and there's something... this one maybe? No, not really. Or does it work? No, unfortunately it does not work. So your opponent can still play Atari here to take these two stones. So actually it looks pretty alive. So this connecting might have been a mistake, but definitely not the losing move of the game. Okay. Okay, now it's your time to check whether your opponent will be able to defend his corner against this invasion or not. Actually, this 3-3 point is always interesting. Okay, this is actually nice because it threatens to next play here, which is Atari, and then just connect, right? Or if your opponent blocks here, then at least you can reduce like this. What did he do? Oh, he played there. And you defend first. So you could actually think about this one. It's quite a tough choice for your opponent. So if he... I don't think he can continue here because he can just take this stone. Yeah, looks not too easy actually. So he could do something like play here and say, okay, you will get my corner, but I'll try to reduce all this, which will be hard, but probably possible. But he did... no, oh sorry, that wasn't the game, sorry. So you played here, defended, and then he took this point, okay. And you played here, which is nice because it, on the one hand, aims at this cut, which is not that bad for your opponent if you play there, but it also defends your territory here, right? Okay, he plays there. You just take the stone. Okay. Oh, that's not really necessary, right? So what is the worst thing that can happen if you play somewhere else? You can go there and you can defend here. There's basically just 1 point difference. So it's not an urgent move, but okay. He plays there, now you have to take. And this one, not necessary at this point. Okay. Some more endgame, some more endgame. Oh, and he even played there. Okay, here that should not be possible. You're so strong here. It should definitely not be possible for your opponent to do anything inside. So the only weakness you have is this move, right? So let's assume you play somewhere. He can play there, and you have to think about what is going to happen if you just defend your territory like this. So there's Atari, here's an Atari, and now things start to look complicated. Because if he goes here, this actually threatens a ladder. So if you just defend your 4 stones here, he can do something like this. Still, I'm not sure whether white can do anything here. But at least there is quite some RG, because these 5 stones are also not alive yet. But this is not a game. So what is the game? You defend it like this. I do like that. Question is that necessary, or can you directly defend here to basically just defend the only real weakness? Your opponent can play here, but actually this is not an issue for you, is it? You already have one eye here, you are connected here. This is connected, it will be easy to make another eye here. So actually I think this is quite good. Just defending here, and then your life is very easy. But you played here. This is nice, because you just prevent your opponent from getting enough space to make 2 eyes here in the middle. Still, I think this one completely ends this invasion, because yeah, there's just nothing. There's just not enough space for your opponent to make 2 eyes. But this one is also, in general, a nice idea. Prevent your opponent from getting enough space to make eyes. Yes, and you now took this one. Really well played. I like that. Okay, you say, I don't want you to get an eye at A, so you play this one. It's okay. Actually, I think your opponent should now play here, because this, on the one hand, almost makes an eye at A. This is very nice shape that he makes here, and it threatens to make another eye somewhere here. But he played this one, and this is a bit too close. So in general, if your opponent's stones are weak, like these stones are very weak, right? They are inside your territory. They do not have any eyes yet. We typically don't want to touch weak stones. So this is why we don't want to play here, because then your opponent actually can make something like play here, which threatens to capture your stone, or do other nasty stuff. But if you just play here without touching this weak group, we still prevent him from getting enough space to make 2 eyes, but we don't give him a chance to counter-attack us, because this stone is strong. He has 4 liberties, but if you do attach, then this stone has only 3 liberties. So if he plays one more stone, it has only 2 left, which means that the next one will be Atari already. So if not necessary, we do not attach when defending. Okay, he played here, which is similar to what I did. And then Atari, yes, we just talked about that. This is not great, because actually, yeah, there's no meaning in taking this one stone, right? This is not an eye that white will get, so you can just play here and prevent him from making eyes down here. Oh, but you connected. This is not good, for reasons I already mentioned. And then he goes down here and threatens to make eyes there. This is nice. We do not touch, but we prevent white from getting more space. Okay. Okay. Oh, so I guess that is the losing move, right? If you just play here, white might or will be able to get 1 eye here, but only 1, right? And there's no way to get another eye. So these stones are nearly connected. No way for white to cut them. These are totally connected. No chance to make another eye here. So this white group is just that. I believe at this point black is still ahead, but of course, this doesn't work, because white, yes, can play here, play Atari, and capture these stones, and this is a big loss, right? This is immediately 10 points. And the question is whether black now can cut here to at least prevent losing everything. But I guess it doesn't work, right? So if we play like this, no, this is impossible, because this is self-Atari. So this is just not possible. Ah, damn. Ah, okay, and this is so terrible. Okay, now this whole white thing is alive, and obviously white easily wins this game. Okay, you played some more moves, but I guess nothing really changes. Okay, and the result is white wins by 22.5. Yes. Yeah, but just as said in the beginning, very nice game. I really liked it. Basically, up to, well, I even like the way you defended. This one is a really strong move, right? So attaching I don't like, I mentioned that, but in general you did very well, and the only mistake you made was not playing here to connect your stones. And at this point I think black still wins, and yeah, that's it from my side. I hope you got some ideas. Wish you good luck for your next games. Thanks.